The baseline projection for growth for 2015-2016 is 1.6%.
To ensure that happens, government is pursuing a creative mix of strategies to move the economy forward. The first order of business is to reduce the debt. By the end of the 2015-2016 fiscal year, Jamaica's debt to gross domestic product GDP ratio should reach 130.7%. But fiscal consolidation is not all. Government will also be intensifying efforts to boost agricultural production, reduce energy costs, improve our tourism product, enhance the logistics hub initiative, and further expand the business process outsourcing BPO sector. The BPO sector currently employs over 17,000 persons.
A national 5-year strategy for the expansion of the sector has been prepared, and it will see an increase in employment from the current levels of 15,000 up to 30,000 by 2020.
Much emphasis will also be placed on micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. In this fiscal year, the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, exceeded its $3 billion lending target and approved close to 9,000 loans.
For 2015-2016, the Development Bank of Jamaica has set a lending target to MSMEs of $4 billion.
Under its loan guarantee program, DBJ will also increase the maximum value of its guarantee from $10 to $15 million to cover up to 50% of loans to small and medium-sized enterprises. Regarding the 8 fund managers who submitted proposals for the Venture Capital Fund,
the DBJ and some investors are now doing due diligence on 6 of the fund managers, and it is expected that in the course of the 15-16 fiscal year, 1 or 2 fund managers will be actively operating.
In the 2015-2016 fiscal year, government will also continue to improve the business environment by reducing bureaucracy and continuing the public sector transformation process, making the system and institutions more efficient.
Among the specific projects to be implemented in the course of this fiscal year is the second phase of the automated system for customs data, ASICUDA it is called. The targeted date for the completion of this phase is June 2015.
And through the application management and data automation Amanda system, parish councils will intensify their operations to grant building approvals within 90 days. The Government Electricity Inspectorate will also be re-engineered and automated to improve its efficiency, and the corporate services of some public sector entities will be shared. The establishment of a new Labor Market Reform Commission was also announced to ensure that industrial relations practices facilitate higher levels of productivity. Upcoming legislation will also strengthen the banking sector.
To assign institutional responsibility for safeguarding overall financial system stability to the Bank of Jamaica.
Steps to privatize key government entities will also continue. So far, 6 firms have expressed interest in the Norman Manley International Airport. Requests for proposals will be issued as soon as Cabinet grants the approval. A concession agreement for the Kingston Container Terminal is also expected to be signed in the first quarter of the next fiscal year, following Cabinet's approval. Individuals will also have greater opportunities to pursue tertiary education in the next fiscal year. The Students' Loan Bureau will be introducing a new loan option called Pay As You Study, allowing parents, guardians, and working students to do just that as long as they can afford the monthly deductions.
The benefits include the lowest rate of interest for a tuition loan, a longer repayment time, smaller monthly payments.
That takes effect in September of this year. At the same time, the children of public sector workers will be able to access a loan from the SLB with one guarantor based on satisfactory assessment. There's also a 35% reduction in the application's processing fees for the children of public sector workers and a 1% reduction to their student loan interest rate. There was a budget gap of $22 billion in the 2015-2016 fiscal year, but the government said it would only seek $10.4 billion of that amount from taxes.
Tax compliance efforts are expected to provide $12.3 billion.
A number of revenue measures have been announced to secure the remaining $10.4 billion. These include an increase in the special consumption tax SCT on every stick of cigarette and a reimposition of the standard GCT rate on residential electricity usage above 350 kilowatt hours. The 0.5% environmental levy on imported goods will also be applied to domestic sales with some exceptions, and $500 million will come from rationalizing several outdated trade and business license fees. Government also expects to earn $6.4 billion from an increase to the SCT rates on petrol. That money will be used to insure against any sharp increases in global oil prices and any negative consequences for Jamaica's economy.
Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the government has taken the decision to purchase a hedge in the market. We propose to hedge 50% of our oil consumption. What I'm saying here does not affect the electricity component.
Effective January 1 next year, the income tax threshold will be increased to $592,800 per annum, allowing workers to take home more of their pay. The government of Jamaica, using a creative mix of policies to expand opportunities and enhance growth in the Jamaican economy.